Welcome everybody to Sundry Sports for Wednesday, August 5th. I'm so bad at this. Yes, Wednesday, August 5th. We have a Dallas Cowboys newsletter today. Sky high in adding CeeDee Lamb to the number one offense in the NFL. Ooh. The Cowboys have set some big expectations for the upcoming season. For his part, Amari Cooper isn't backing away from them. Better not. Media Days recap. Lights, camera, ready for action. Hashtag Dallas Cowboys. So a bunch of pictures. Although they're really not ready for action since they haven't been able to train together at all yet. Training camp preview. Football is back, and the official 2020 Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine training camp preview is on sale now with scouting reports on every player going to camp and breakdowns of each position. Okay, neat. Stay in the know on all things Dallas Cowboys. Visit DallasCowboys.com for more news and videos. And listen to 105.3 The Fan if you're in Dallas. Next up, Cowboys Wire. Cowboys won't profit much as NFL adds COVID cap space to 32 teams. The landscape for the NFL is constantly changing amid the coronavirus panic and the rules being put in place to try and have a full season are very restrictive and depressing. COVID cap space. Siwo Olanilua, path to making Cowboys roster paved with opportunity. The Dallas Cowboys had their third player opt out of the 2020 season when fullback Jameez Olawale elected to sit out due to health concerns over blah 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 blah. Cowboys news. Gallup leap in year 3. I read that yesterday. Actually, the headline was yesterday, but I actually read it I think the day before. Anyway, Michael Gallup, a dynamic slot option. Cooper, dominant outside. As long as the season doesn't get grounded, the air show in Dallas should be a blast to watch. Yep. Amari Cooper. Cowboys' expectations are for 33 1,000-yard receivers. Yeah, sounds good. COVID-19 ends Cowboys kicker competition. Yep, because they had to cut down to 80 players before training camp even started. COVID-19 tracker. Yes, players on Cowboys 2020 schedule who opt out or test positive. Prescott number 1 in 2016 redraft. Cowboys Elliott drops out of top 10. I'm getting really tired of reading the same old headlines over and over again. I know there's not much to write about, and what you do have to write about is sometimes really lame. I don't know. Just you could reduce the amount of headlines you put in your newsletter rather than make me see the same ones over and over and over again. Next up is the ESPN Daily. Good morning. To state the obvious, trying to play sports amid the coronavirus panic has a lot of downsides. Letting your life be completely manipulated and defined by a panic has downsides. But hearing MLB players hit home runs without fans is not one of them. Here's your ESPN Daily. Pac-12 protests the blueprint for college football progress. As college football continues to grapple with how to proceed with the season, with plans that vary among conferences throughout the country, a group of Pac-12 players published a document in the Players' Tribune with a list of demands surrounding a number of issues. Demands. Such arrogance. Player health and safety, wealth inequality, and racial injustice. I'm so sure. The players are threatening to opt out of the season if their concerns are not addressed to their satisfaction, posing an unprecedented challenge to the conference and the NCAA. On today's episode of the ESPN Daily Podcast, UCLA football players Elisha Guidry and Otito Ogbonia joined the show to explain why they became involved with the movement with the movement. Then ESPN's Mark Schlabach gives more context on the Pac-12 players' actions within the college football landscape. We scrolled Twitter so you don't have to. They really tried to cancel Melo. What does that mean? Yeah, what Cuz said. Last night, Carmelo Anthony made 2 big plays in the final 3 minutes, blocking a PJ Tucker three-pointer with the score tied, and then drilling a straightaway catch-and-shoot dagger 3 with 54 seconds left. Put the Portland Trailblazers up by 5 over the Houston Rockets in 36 minutes. Skinny Melo finished with 15 points and 11 rebounds. Melo Hive stand up. Who tried to cancel him? Things to care about. What The Rock, Danny Garcia, and the XFL 3.0 got cooking. Last week on Ballers, Spencer Strasmore bought the XFL. JK, it was Monday and it was The Rock and it was real life, but that plotline does sound feasible, if not wildly predictable. When the league entered Chapter 11 bankruptcy in April, Danny Garcia immediately picked up the phone and called her ex-husband and longtime business partner, actor Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. Garcia was captivated the moment the XFL 2.0 kicked off in February. She was surprised by the level of play, appreciative of the attempts to speed up the pace, and intrigued by the potential for expanding storylines and providing new access to players and coaches. It was so natural, Garcia said. There was a moment in Dwayne's life when football was going to be his career. I'm a professional athlete myself. We do sports, we do entertainment. If you look at our resumes, everything points to this moment and opportunity for us to work with these athletes and to build this brand. Garcia and Johnson teamed with Jerry Cardinale, founder and managing partner of Redbird Capital Partners, to submit a bid worth $15 million, plus additional considerations for the league. While the agreement ensures a future for the brand, it still leaves plenty of questions regarding the timing and scale of football it will produce. Who is going to run the league? How will the league benefit from having a woman in ownership? No, that's not... Oh my god, that's not an important question. That's not... Why do you do this? How will the league benefit from having a woman in ownership? That's neither here nor there. There's no special benefit to having a woman in ownership. In my personal opinion, sometimes there are drawbacks to having women involved in things, but that's just me. It's not just me, but whatever. Will the league have the same core principles on the field? Can the league really pull off a season in 2021? Are we sure? Well, they were going to get a full season in 2020, except they folded a little too quickly, I thought, to the whole panic. Are we sure that Vince McMahon didn't just cut a deal with his friends? How will the XFL 3.0 make money? Here's what we know and don't know about the XFL 3.0 so far. Look good, feel good, coach good? Quarantine chic. It's a look most of us have perfected at this point in our panic-induced existence. Okay, it's easy, it's effortless, and it scoffs at the idea of jeans. The ensemble ranges from pajamas to the highly trendy lounge set. Read sweatpants and sweatshirt. What the fuck kind of life is this bitch living? Somewhere between April and August, I determined that if I were wearing one of the aforementioned sets, I would counteract the fact I hadn't washed my hair in a week. If I'm wrong, I don't want to be right. Okay. While NBA coaches don't have quite the same luxury, they have, however, adopted their own version of quarantine casual in Orlando. Polo shirt, slacks, and sneakers. Okay. The new non-suited look has been a hit among most of the coaches, if not simply because it made for an easier packing job. Team Casual, which boasts members such as Greg Popovich, Eric Spelstra, and Brad Stevens, feels it is gaining momentum in the bubble for more lasting change. Meanwhile, Team Suit, Frank Vogel and Rick Carlisle, to name a few, are holding strong, citing a desire to honor the legacy of sharply dressed coaches like Chuck Daly, Pat Riley, and Lenny Wilkens, who came before them. Very noble. Respectable. Then there are those taking the middle ground. Dwayne Casey likes both looks and would prefer coaches get to choose each game. But several pro polo coaches conceded it might look awkward for a suit staff to face a polo staff. So will the bubble experiment be a one-off, or will it change the coaching dress code forever? It's too soon to tell, but you can go ahead and chalk the bubble up as a giant win for team casual. Ballin' in the bubble. While we're talking NBA bubble, it would probably be as good a time as any to get you caught up on the latest happenings in the association between the great coaching wardrobe debate. The first 6 days... association beyond the great coaching wardrobe debate. The first 6 days of the restart have been filled with action. We've seen massive scoring performances, sup TJ Warren, dramatic finishes, Devin Booker is clutch and Skinny Mellows still got it. That's just a terrible nickname. Why would you want to be called that? Just because you lost some weight? It doesn't even sound good. It doesn't have any sort of ring to it. Whatever. And intense battles give us Clippers-Lakers every night. And our experts have been there for all of it, watching and listening to what's going on at the NBA campus, as well as what people on the outside have seen and thought about it. From why the Brooklyn Nets are playoff-bound to Zion Williamson's non-existent defense, here's what we've seen and heard so far about each of the 22 teams. Things to watch. Shot heard round the bubble. Say it with me now. Devin Booker is a problem. The Phoenix Star popped off again in the bubble by dropping 35 points and calling games in Paul George's face, draining a ridiculous buzzer beater to give the Suns a win over the Clippers. Since Book entered the NBA in 2015-16, he now has 3 buzzer beaters, tied with LeBron James for most in the NBA. That's a bad man. Overheard. I did not contract the virus. It took one look at me and ran the other way. Gardner Minshew on testing negative for COVID-19. More people need to have this sort of attitude about shit. Remember when? On this date in 2017, one brave coach, then Baylor Bears and current Carolina Panthers head coach Matt Rule, risked it all to race against a robot and won a costly victory. After crossing the finish line, his foe extracted revenge by knocking him to the ground with a merciless late hit. I just want to say that it was man versus machine, Rule said post-race. I did it for humanity, and that's a warning because machines aren't going to fight fair. I'm not sure what they're talking about here, but it sounds like a whole John Henry type thing. What's on today? Stuff that's already happened because this is nighttime. Until next time, remember, it's more disappointing than people are surprised by it. Damian Lillard on Carmelo Anthony's dagger in Portland's win over Houston, / me when I roll up to a Zoom meeting in my pajamas. This has been your ESPN Daily for Wednesday, August 5th, 2020. All right. ESPN.